Both of them took Pad Namaskar. And then he said, Swami, I'm seeing you after a very long time. I'm deeply blessed by your presence and your darshan. Immediately Swami said, yes, 1940, Sakamma's house. You came, you didn't get sweet. This was in 2000, that was in 1940. So one of the days, in the middle, like after the evening program is over, after Swami retires, then only you can go to Yajur Mandir and do all the decoration outside. So it was late in the evening and she and my daughters and all of them were outside Yajur Mandir doing all the decoration, flower decorations, everything. Suddenly my daughter tells her, Ma, I'm very hungry. How I wish I could have some pasta. So she said, 9:30, 10 o'clock in the night in Prashanti Nilayam, pasta. I mean, what's gone wrong with you? You're not going to get anything like that because the canteens would have closed at 8 o'clock. So she says, no question, now come on, let's finish and get going. In few minutes, the main door opens, Satyajit or somebody comes out with a big, huge tray of all the goodies, mostly pasta. And they give it to her to say, then she says, how did you get this? I said, no, Swami sent it for you. My humble and reverential prostrations at the divine lotus feet of Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Revered elders, youngsters, brothers and sisters. It's a beautiful occasion for me to be here. I was just trying to recall when I came here last. And I realized it was during the last visit of Bhagavan in the year 2009 to Dharmakshetra. And ever since then, I've not been able to come and visit Dharmakshetra, but it's a completely changed Dharmakshetra that I'm now seeing. Because this auditorium was not there. There's a very basic kind of a hall was there where Swami used to give darshan, and of course when Swami was there everything was jam-packed, and that's how it was at that time. But now it's nice to see a beautifully decorated auditorium which is here and which is going to give us a number of occasions to meet here and to sit comfortably and take the bliss of Bhagavan. I've been asked to talk about my experiences with Bhagavan. Many times people think that they want to see God, they want to know God, they want to experience God. Swami has often answered this question to say that you cannot see God. And the same idea we see in the Bhagavad Gita when Arjuna asks Krishna, I want to see your divine form. I've seen you in the form of Krishna, one of the Yadavas, but I want to see you in your Virat Swarupa. So Bhagavan Krishna then thinks about it and tells him that you cannot see God with these eyes, and assures him and says, Divyam dadami te chakshuhu. Means, I'm going to give you divine eyes. Then only you are able to see me. With your ordinary human eyes, you cannot see God. So you can only see it with the divine eyes which Bhagavan has to give to you. Swami has many times explained to us that the ultimate truth is that God is everywhere. And of course, there are a number of Upanishadic statements which talk about it. Ekam sat vipraha bahuda vadanti. There is only one truth, and the learned people refer to it by many names. We have the Dashavataras, and we have the Ashtottara Shatanama, we have the Sahasranama, and we have Sahasranama for all the deities that we worship in the Hindu pantheon. All that this means is that these entities are different names of the same form. Now, if you look at the origin of this thought process, we can go back to about 1300 years when the Vedas are more than 5000 years old, And between that time and the revival of the Vedic culture, we have to bear in mind that Adi Shankaracharya, who was born in Kaladi in Kerala, played a very significant role. And of course, I won't go into his philosophical teachings, but I'm going to just mention one aspect, which is exactly what Swami lived, taught, and showed to us. The thought is that there is no difference between one human being and the other. All human beings are one and the same. You may be looking black, you may be having a beard, you may be having bald head, you may have a mustache, you may have different color skin, you may belong to a different religion, you may come from a different country. All of this makes no difference. Because that is why Bhagawan used to address all of us as Divyatma Swarupalara, Prema Swarupalara. It means all of you whom he is addressing are the very embodiments of the divine being. And all of you are not only embodiments, you are also embodiments of the divine spirit of love. Prema Swarupalar, you are the very embodiments of love. So if you cultivate love in your heart, if you cultivate the feeling of oneness with everybody, then you are going to be peaceful and happy and you are going to progress. Now, of all the species in the world that we have, one species is very, very difficult to find, and that is the human species. Now, there is one shloka in Viveka Chudamani, the second shloka, where again Adi Shankara Bhagavad-pada says, Durlabham triyamevaitat devanugraha hetukam manushyatvam mumukshatvam mahapurusha samshrayaha. It simply means that three things are very difficult to get. The first thing is so difficult to get, and it further adds that you can only get this with the grace of God. If God's grace is not there, you can't get this. So what are these three things? Let us look at it. The first thing is manushyatvam, being born as a human being. Human birth is very, very, very important. Human birth is a great gift upon you. So this is very important, being born as a human being. Second thing is mumukshatvam. Mumukshatvam means, all of us today are sitting here. We want to listen about Bhagawan. We want to imbibe something from his teachings. We want to experience his divinity, to see where he is. Is he really divine? What are the experiences we see? We want to learn all these things. We want to adopt it in our lives. Why do we do this? The reason is, all of us as human beings want to progress along the spiritual path. We don't want to live an animal existence. Animals also live in the same way. They eat, they sleep, they procreate, they live for a few years, they die and go away. If somebody is attached to that, that attachment also goes away. Whereas human beings are not like that. We are endowed with what is called intellect. Now our intellect or buddhi is the one which helps us to look inward, to say, who am I? Why was I born? Who is I? You say this is my body, then who is my? Who is the person who owns the body? If you say this is my car, it means I am the owner, the car is mine. But if you say this body is mine, then who is it that is saying it is mine? There is somebody there. And that person is the universal spirit which Bhagawan describes as God, Brahman. All the Vedas, the Upanishads respectively describe them like that. And Tattvamasi, these are Brahma Mahavakyas which are there in the Brahma Sutras. They all teach and preach that you are divine. Now if you call somebody and say, you're God, I want to worship you in a society, he will start wondering whether something is wrong with you, your head is okay, or you're slightly off your head. This is the impression which they will get if you do that. But if you look at that person as the same divine being that you are, then the way you treat that person will be different. Now if somebody you hate, right, if you stop hating that person, then you start thinking that that person is really the embodiment of the same divinity which is in me. You look on that person differently. You will treat that person differently. You will feel differently for that person. I'll come with an illustration in Bhagawan's life. One day, Bhagawan was graciously pleased to invite me for lunch. Then Bhagawan was staying still in the Purnachandra hall. So he suddenly asked me, you come for lunch. So we went inside. Swami was sitting on a sofa, and as his practice was, he had a heap of letters which he had received. So he was opening every one of them patiently, looking at them, smiling at some, tearing at some, putting it in the dustbin. There was a big dustbin on one side and there a pile of letters on the other side. And suddenly, if you find something very amusing or funny, nothing personal in it, he will just throw it to one of us sitting there. See, chudu, em chesta chudu. See, what is it? Somebody has written to him about his dog, saying, the dog is not well, Swami. You have to please help me to take care of my dog. So Swami had a hearty laugh. And he said, see, this person had compassion, not only for other human beings, also for the dog. So it is a positive aspect of this human being, because there is a famous Vishnu Shatpadi Sutra. It says, Avinaya Vipanaya Vishnu, Damaya Manaha, Shamaya Murgatrishna, Bhutadaya Vistaraya Taraya, Sansagar Taraya. This is just one sloka of Adi Shankara. He says, Avinayam Apanaya Vishnu. The long sutra is there. One part of it is Bhutadaya Vistaraya Taraya. Now Bhutadaya is love, compassion for all living beings. So you must have the same compassion for every living being, whether it's a dog or it's a cat or even an insect or anything else. You should not get angry or treat another living being with disrespect or take away the life. So this is one of the aspects. So if you look at it like that and come back to the concept of Advaita, which Adi Shankaracharya propounded, and see what Swami says about it. Swami makes it very simple. You don't have to go to any great Upanishad, look at all the difficult Sanskrit text, read it, read the commentary. There is a commentary on the commentary to understand what is there in it. The language is very difficult. Unfortunately, we don't know Sanskrit. Nobody taught us Sanskrit. We only taught English, A, B, C, D, twinkle, twinkle, little star. These are the things which were taught to us, no? We don't know. Small things in Sanskrit, we don't know. Why? Because our education system didn't provide for it. Now, the vast knowledge of the Indian Vedic systems which are there are lost to us. So, Bhagavan came and made it very simple. Now, this sloka I told you, Bhutadaya Vistaraya Taraya, no? It is there in the Stotra. It is a composition of Adi Shankara. We don't know, nobody has read it, nobody has told us what it means. But how did Swami interpret that and introduce it to our life? He said, Manav Seva is Madhav Seva. So just look at this. Manav Seva is Madhav Seva. So you must have compassion to do Manav Seva. Now when you're going on the road, you find somebody who's destitute, who's hungry, who's thirsty, and you are in a good, nice air-conditioned car. Of course, there are a lot of abuses taking place. I'm not talking about them. But take a genuine case of a person who is in difficulty, who's lost his home. There's a big flood and everything is washed away. They're sitting on the floor and crying somewhere. Their children have nothing to eat. What happens to us? What is it that kindles a thought in our heart to say, oh God, this person is suffering. Can we do something for them? Now recently in Myanmar, what happened? The International Sai organization, that is the Global Council, they were one of the first organizations, when they heard about it, to send relief material and volunteers. They were waiting for the military yonder there to allow these people to go in. They were the first international organization to be allowed to go into Myanmar to give relief at a time when they needed it most. Why did this happen? It only happened because Swami taught us. And Swami said that you must love everybody, you must have compassion for anybody in distress you must help them. And he added one more thing. He said, help ever, hurt never. If you can help somebody, please help. But if somebody comes to your house begging for some alms or say, bhook laga hai thoda, khana khilao humko, you can't take a stick and beat that person. Nor can you call your big dog and say, chase him out. This is hurt. Don't hurt. If you can help, help. If you cannot help, don't help. So, help ever, hurt never. This is one aspect. Now, the idea, how do you infuse in everybody's mind the idea that everyone else is embodiment of love, is your own reflection? The only way you can do it is to lead a life which Swami is explaining how to do. So, in his own lifetime, I was telling you about what happened in the dining room. So, he was opening these letters and suddenly he looked, there was a boy who was standing there. So he looked at him, stared at him, then he looked at me and he said, "Do you know who that boy is?" So I said, "Yes, Swami, I know. He's, in your dining area. He helps to maintain the dining room." Then Swami is staring at him and he started crying. Actually weeping, sobbing. So I was a bit shocked, I didn't know what to do because I was the only one sitting there. Swami is looking at him crying and I am looking at him, I don't know what to do, whether I should get up and go or sit. After a few minutes, Swami composed himself and he said, "I'll tell you about this boy. This boy, he was in a bus stand in Markera, in your state, in Coorg. Nobody was there to take care of him. They were beating him. He didn't eat for 4 days. I came to know about him. I sent somebody to bring him to my house. And ever since then, he has been here." He must have been about 14, 15-year-old boy. Then Swami looked at that boy and he said, "Are you happy here? Are you getting food? Are you peaceful here?" So this question, gave rise to a wave of emotion in the hearts of the boy. And he started crying. He said, "Swami, I had nobody. You kept me here. I am living so comfortably. I have no problem. I am seeing your darshan every day." No, the devotion that the boy had developed to Swami in the short while, and the fact that when Swami is caring for him, he felt that here is Swami, Bhagawan, who we all consider as the very embodiment of God, caring for a completely destitute young boy for no reason at all. Now what do you say for this? This is nothing but compassion. The bhutadaya vistaraya taraya. So the philosophical truth of Swami's teachings is what Swami did in his life and showed it to us. See, he actually lived it. I'll give another episode. One day, after that, this is about, earlier I said was in Purnachandra, after the Yajur Mandir was built, Swami had moved to Yajur Mandir, and he used to come and sit in the outside veranda room in the first room, and sometimes they would keep some newspapers in front of him. Swami would just casually look at the headlines in 3-4 minutes and just discard the newspaper. So he was looking at it, he was reading one article, and suddenly he looked at us, few of us sitting there, said, "What is gone wrong with society? Here is a case, there was a news report about a young mother who had nobody to look after her. Her husband had left her, she had 2 children, and she didn't know how to feed them. They were 3 days hungry, so she didn't have any money to feed them. So in a sense of desperation, she took the 2 kids and drowned them in a well. She also jumped into the well and she committed suicide." This was a news report. The minute Swami saw this, he said, "What has gone wrong with society? Why should this happen? It should never happen. Where is the compassion gone?" Immediately the same day he made an announcement that I am going to start an anath ashram, an orphanage. And he said, anybody can bring any of their children and leave it here, no questions will be asked, Swami will provide everything for them. And he started that ashram. He actually started one ashram in Puttaparthi and one old age home in Whitefield. That comes at a little different point of time. Now in this anath ashram, Swami didn't call it anath ashram. He called it just a home. And one person was given responsibility. First thing that Swami did was, I want to teach all of them some good things. So we'll start with teaching them some small shlokas like Bal Vikas, what he teach. And I also want them to learn the Vedas. Now, the traditional way of teaching Vedas is you must be at least 8 years, you should have done Upanayanam, and you should have a guru to teach you. He said, no, none of those things. This is for everybody. This is universal. Don't make any distinction of any kind, whoever he may be, because nobody asked them what caste they belong to, what religion they belong to, what language they spoke, nothing. They were all there in the home. Swami used to go and visit them and take care of them. And he said, teach them. So they all started learning. So many days, Swami would say, my boys, young boys will come and chant Vedam today. And he would, take such pride in them coming, sitting in front of him and chanting small shlokas and Vedas in the Swami's presence. Now, this is the way how Swami actually showed how you can be compassionate to each other, how you can be completely, change people's thinking. Now, again going back to Adi Shankaracharya, there's another this composition called Prashnottara Ratnamalika. It's a 67 verses in that. Each verse has got 2 lines. Each line has got 2 questions and 2 answers. That is the precision with which it is written. So one of the questions there is, Ko Guruhu, means who is a Guru? Answer he gives is, Adhigata Tattva Shishya Hitayodhyataha Satatam. That means a Guru is one who is always thinking of the welfare of his Shishya. He doesn't think of anything else. He doesn't think, हमको कितना पैसा मिलेगा, हमको गाड़ी कौन देगा, हमको ये आश्रम कौन बना के देगा, ये building कौन बनाएगा. That is not the idea at all. The Guru doesn't think of any of these things. He doesn't want anything. He only wants the welfare of the Shishya. For that, whatever he has to do, he will do. Then second thing is, Adhikata Tattvaha. Adhikata Tattvaha means one who knows the truth. One who knows everything. No, if a Guru has to give you Upadesha, first he must know. So Swami said, the life of Swami shows that he knew everything. It shows that he had no selfish intention for anything. It only shows that he created various institutions for helping others. Now Swami started educational institutions. He started medical school, medical hospitals. He started university, and he started mobile hospitals, and so many other seva activities like giving water supply to states. All this, why did Swami do? Is it something that he had to get in return? Now today we all know that education has become mainly a commercial activity. Many of the educational institutions, they collect huge fees and they make money. Of course, they may be giving good education, but the altruistic objective of education, which was always there in this country, has slowly dissipated and it has changed. So what do we do now? So we now have to set up institutions. So Swami said, let me set up a school and a college where there is no fees. So today in all the educational institutions run by the Sathya Sai Central Trust, no fees are charged. Similarly in the hospitals, the super speciality hospitals that are set up, no fees are charged. Now how does Swami do all this? Where does he get the money from? And no explanation. Nobody asks anyone for money in Swami's organization. Whoever wants to give will give anonymously. Anonymously in the sense that we don't accept anonymous donations without announcing his name. That's what I mean by anonymously. Nobody goes and says, I'll give you 1 crore rupees, you give me this award and give me a mala and have a big program and all that. Nothing like that ever happens. Most of the time we don't even know the person who's come silently and given $1 million and goes away, and he or she gets a receipt and quietly they also go away. Now, so this idea about being selfless is an idea which has been inculcated into millions of people everywhere by Swami. Now, I have to tell you a little bit about how our family came in touch with Bhagawan. As you heard in the unnecessarily long introduction for me, my father was a member of the Sathya Sai Karnataka Trust, and Swami had a great deal of affection and regard for my father. So whenever Bhagawan was used to come to Whitefield, you know, those days, I'm talking of the 70s and even earlier, there was no college in Puttaparthi, there was no college in Whitefield, and the Anantapur College has just started in the late 60s, and there was no other medical facility except in 1958. Swami had started a small medical facility in Puttaparthi. So Swami had a lot of time. In summer he used to spend a great deal of time staying in Vrindavan. Of course the new Trai Vrindavan was not there, it came much later. But that was how life was. And so whenever Swami happened to be in Vrindavan, my father would get information, and so he would ask whether we would join him and we would go and have darshan of Swami. Now this close affinity and the opportunity to have his darshan continued whenever Swami was in Whitefield. But for many years after that, Swami slowly decreased the amount of time that he was spending here, till again he started it when he started building the super speciality hospital in Bangalore in 2000-2001. Now I'm going back to that stage, and Swami's birthdays were celebrated only in Prashanti Nilayam, that in the grand scale. So I had just finished my graduation, and I started my chartered accountancy course, and we went for the Swami's birthday in November of 1978. So whole family was there, and Bhagavan kindly invited us to Purnachandra, and made us all sit down, everybody. There was a big group of us, my uncles, aunts, and many of them. And he started asking each of us, what are you doing? Where are you going? Where are you studying? So when he came to me, he said, what are you doing? So I said, Swami, I am studying. He said, what are you studying? I said, no, I am doing my chartered accountancy. I have just taken my exam. I finished my second year law. And he looked at me. He said, you are a Vidyarthi. That means, are you a student? Vidyarthi is a literal translation of Vidyarthi. Literal translation means one who is a seeker of knowledge. Vidyarthi is one who is seeking knowledge, who is trying to get knowledge. So then he said, you are a Vidyarthi. Don't become Vishayarthi. Vishayarthi is one who takes great interest in the worldly affairs, who wants things, who wants to accumulate so many things, who wants to enjoy, all the pleasures of life. This is something which is not good for a student. So it started thinking in me. And when I went back, these words are reflecting in my mind. I said, why did Swami say this? Then I decided, it means that I have to do something. And that means I have to sacrifice some of the things that I was doing, which a student is not supposed to do. Like, just going, nukkad mein baith ke gappe marna, 2 hours, 3 hours, sit down, chit chat. Of course, nowadays I have to say, ye lag ke social media dekhna. But those days we didn't have this. So it was only chit chatting. So that you should not do. Then skipping classes you should not do. Then going for midnight movies you should not do. So like this I drew up a list. And I said, okay, this self-discipline I am going to put into myself. All my friends said, "Arey, kya karta hai yaar? Tu sadhu banne wala hai kya? What is this? Come on, let's go enjoy." I said, no, I have got to do something. So you enjoy. I won't come in the way. So all of them would see late night movies and come on the way home. I used to study in the first floor. I had a small sit out. They would whistle from home. "Arey, niche aana, 5 minutes. Baat karke jao upar." So I would shortcut my study, come down, talk to them a little bit and go. So why I am saying this is, Swami's guidance is always there at the right time for the right person. I'll now go to a different time frame. Of course, the education went on and then so many things happened. I'll come back to it maybe a little later. I'll connect this to another episode. Many years later, I went to Prashanti Nilayam and I was in the Rotary Club. And so many of my Rotary friends said, can we all come for Swami's darshan? So I said, okay, I will find out. So when I inquired from Bhagawan, I said, Swami, these people want to come. He said, what do they do? Only party, is it? So I said, no, Swami, we have a hospital. We run an eye hospital which gives free cataract treatment for all the patients. It's in a small hospital in Bangalore. And this is what I mentioned. Then he said, okay, you bring them. So a date was fixed and we came. It was a big group of about 20 people or 25 couples were there. They were all seated in the veranda. As soon as Swami came for darshan, he looked at them, he looked at me, you're calm. That's all he said. He didn't call us into the interview room. Then he went into the interview room. After some time, he realized it was nearly 9 o'clock. 5 minutes to 9, he came out. And he said, see, all of you have come. Today, bhajan is starting in 5 minutes. If I call you, you can't hear what I'm saying. I can't hear what you're saying. So can you all please stay for the afternoon? I'll see you in the afternoon. So everybody was maha-thrilled. They said, Swami is asking us to stay in the afternoon, we'll stay. So then the whole day they were in a state of elation. Everybody, oh, Swami is told us, giving you interview. So anyway, afternoon we came and Swami, as he promised, he called everybody inside and we all jam-packed in that interview room. Those of you who have seen it will know how tiny that is. Swami's chair is there, we're all sitting. And about nearly 30, 35 of us were there. And Swami started talking to many people. Then he got saris, that was a bonus, and he gave all the women saris. And he started talking, gave vibhuti. Then he concentrated on 2 persons. One person he started talking in Tamil, and the other person, both of them were Tamils. One he spoke in Tamil, one he spoke in English. And then he asked what you're doing. He said, my software engineer. Then he called both one after another and created a green stone ring and gave both of them. And that was all the interview. It ended. Now we were all perplexed. Now of all these people, how did, and they all said, Swami should have given to Naganand. Why he gave all these people? They don't know him. First time he is coming for darshan. So I said, see, I can't answer any of these things. It's Swami's will, he's done it. Now, of these 2 people, the first person developed cancer. It happened about 6 or 7 years after that. And he was in bad shape. And the doctor said it's very difficult for you to survive. We had to have bone marrow transplant. And he got through all of that. And the only thing request he made was, come, please give me some vibhuti if you can. So I gave him that vibhuti. He was wearing the ring. Today, it's about 20 years since this happened. He's hale and hearty. His cancer is gone. He has no other issues. His children are well settled. And he is living happily. The second person that Swami identified, his daughter had recently got married in America to an Indian person only. They had arranged marriage. And everybody, we all attended the marriage, everything was fine. But a couple of years down the line, they had a severe problem in their marital life. As a result, she faced a lot of abuse. There was cases filed in America, in India, everything. Finally, she returned to India. We filed a case here and got her a divorce. Now, that is a crucial period of time for this other person whom Swami gave him that prasadam of his. And he today is hale and hearty. The daughter is fine. She's got married again. She has a family. And the family is first class. Now, what do you say for this? How can you believe that in the entire group of 40 people whom Swami had never seen, he didn't know any one of them, he picks these two people, gives them this blessing, and they needed it at a time which was some years after this, and they become perfectly okay. It's impossible to imagine how Swami works. See, Swami knows everything. There's nothing that he doesn't know. You must be clear about that. One day, I had, in the course of this long number of years, there are many issues, submissions which you have to make to Bhagawan sometimes. There is some trouble somewhere, some suggestion has come, something to do with trust, some taxation issue. So many issues come up in the secular world, So we always feel that we must submit everything to Bhagawan. We can't on our own decide. Though as a professional, I can say this is the right thing to do. We should do this. I can tell this to all my colleagues in the board or the council of management. But when it comes to Bhagawan, I can't tell Bhagawan, so, Swami, this is what we should do, we'll go ahead and do it. That's not what we can do. Because Swami knows everything. He knows what is good. And he had a fantastic style of management. I'll describe his management style also. So then we had to make a submission to Swami many times. So, and my busy professional practice allowed me to go there only on Sundays. So every Sunday, most of the time, we would be leaving home at, those days the road was not so good. So we used to leave home at 3 o'clock in the morning and reach Puttaparthi by 6 or 6:15. Swami's time was 6:40. Before 6:40, you had to be in the veranda seated if you want to get Swami's darshan, because he would come, give darshan and call somebody for interview and the door would be closed. After that, it would open only a few minutes before 9, most of the time. So if you miss that, you miss it. So anyway, I went that morning. I had a long list of things to place before Bhagawan. I saw there right outside Swami's door in the veranda, a chair was placed. So the minute I saw the chair, I thought to myself, oh God, now there's some VIP sitting here. That's where I normally sit. Not because my seat was taken away, but my worry was that because of that gentleman, Swami will call him in. I'll never get a chance to place before him what I had to place, and I have to go back to Bangalore today. What to do? This was my worry. Anyway, I sat just behind the chair, and few minutes later that VIP came. He was then Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Vilasarao Deshmukh. He sat there, and a few minutes later Bhagawan came, saw him and called him inside with his family. So they had come to invite or take blessing from Swami for his son's wedding, I think. So the minute they went inside, the door closed again. My monkey mind thought, now God, finished. Swami is not going to come till 9. So I think I'll have to now go away without being able to place before him. Believe it or not, in less than 3-4 minutes, the door opened. And those of us who have seen Swami, he would open the door, look like this, casually, sway like this to see who is there, give a smile, open the door and allowed them to go out. The whole family left. Then again he's standing at the door, looking at me. Ra, he said. So I went inside. The minute I went inside, Swami was seated. I sat at his feet, I held his feet, and I didn't say anything. Swami is looking at me. He said, hey me, Chief Minister. Chief Minister आता है जाता है, आता है जाता है. हमारा devotee आता है रहता है. So, of course, it was too shocking for me that he's saying this. I just kept quiet. Then he said, see, there is something, a connection between God and human being. That is the connection which we need to experience. Now, I had a long list of things to be placed before him, but believe it or not, from 8:05 or so, 5 minutes only that interview lasted, till 9 o'clock or 5 minutes to 9, I was sitting in front of Bhagawan. He did not utter one word. He did not allow me to open my mouth or say anything, because every time something came to my mind, I must place it. That thought would again recede, saying, don't place it. It went on like this for nearly 1 whole hour, 50 minutes. Then Swami looked at the watch like this. There's a clock there on the wall. And, bhajan, he said. So then I said, Swami, I want to place something before you. What is that? So in 2 minutes, he heard what I had to say. Okay. You can do like that. Accordingly, you can go. I will give instructions to Chakravarti, he said. And come, we'll go now. We'll go for bhajan now. Because 9 o'clock sharp, bhajan will start in the mandir. Oh. Then Swami got up, door was open. Swami went to bhajan mandir. I came and sat here. Now, all the people in the veranda, they think that I have come and Swami has given me 1 hour interview. He's spoken to me so many things and given me all this opportunity. But none of them knew that there was no conversation between us. It was his wish, it was his will to give me the benefit of his darshan. That's all that was. There was nothing more. See, God is one who keeps giving. He keeps giving and giving and giving. There's no end to that. So he wanted to show his grace upon us. That is the reason why he called. Otherwise, he could have asked me as soon as I go inside to say, you came, what is the matter? What do you want to say? Okay, 5 minutes, go away. And he could have done whatever. But that's not the thing is. So if I tell somebody outside that, there was no conversation, there was nothing. Bhagavan was only giving me darshan, giving me the benefit of holding on to his feet for this entire 50 minutes. It's difficult for somebody to understand why this happens and how this happens and what is divine grace. There's a beautiful saying in Dakshinamurti Stotra. It says, Gurostu maunam vyakhyanam, shishyastu chinna samshayaha. It means the Guru, vyakhyana, is a lecture, is an explanation. Gurostu maunam vyakhyanam. The Guru is giving his explanation in silence. Maunam is silence. And what happens to the doubts of the Shishya? Shishya has come to Guru with so many doubts, no? What happens to the Shishya's doubts? Guru has not spoken one word also. The next word says, Shishyastu chinna samshaya. Whatever doubts the Shishya had, they just vanished. The doubts don't exist anymore. It's like erasing. It's like you put a delete button in the computer like that. Delete means everything gone. Your doubts are gone. So the thing is, this is how Bhagavan gave his grace upon people. And the fact that Bhagavan knew everything of all persons at all times is something which is to be experienced. I'll give you another explanation, another incident. In the year 2000, I don't know, I forgot about my slides. Are the slides working? Okay. In the year 2000, Bhagavan came to bless our house. So there was a big celebration, a lot of suspense behind it, everything. Finally he came, and I had invited a few judges. One of them was former Chief Justice Venkatachalaya. He was there. And at the dining table, there were one chair was reserved for Justice Venkatachalaya. So I asked Bhagavan that Swami Venkatachalaya ji is there. Can I request him to sit on the table? He said yes. So only 4 of us were sitting, and Swami was having his meal. And then when something was served, he would quietly put some sweet into Venkatachalaya's plate. So he noticed it also, and this went on for some time. And afterwards, meal was over. Then everybody came out, and Venkatachalaya ji asked him, can I have Pada Namaskar? So Swami said, yes, you can have. Then he said, my wife is there, can I also ask her to take Pada Namaskar? Yes, where is she? So she was there only, they called her. Both of them took Pada Namaskar. And then he said, Swami, I'm seeing you after a very long time. I'm deeply blessed by your presence and your darshan. Immediately Swami said, yes, 1940, Sakamma's house. You came, you didn't get sweet. This was in 2000, that was in 1940. Now what had happened was, Swami was born in 1926, so he was 14 years in 1940, 42 I think, and 16 years. And Venkatachalaya was born in 1929, so he was still younger, he was still in high school. One day, one of his friends in the school told him that there is some Swamiji is coming in one place in Chamarajpet, which is close to our school. हमको सब अच्छा मिठाई मिलेगा, चलो चलते हैं उधर, मिठाई के लिए चलते हैं. That was his attraction. So he said, what Swamiji? I don't know any Swamiji and all. Who is this Swamiji? Two boys, young boys, talking to each other. Come, let's go, we'll see what happens. So both of them went there. So they went to that house, and there was a big crowd there, and Swami came there, and he spent some time. And after some time, everybody dispersed without any mithai being distributed. So this fact about the mithai not having been received by him in 1942 or so is instantaneously recounted by Swami in 2000 and says, I gave you mithai now. Now what do you say for this? It's certainly not some feat of memory or something. These are called Trikala Jnani. That means they live in three different planes. On a very personal note, you look at them, it looks like they are, normal. Like simple things, when you are with Swami, he will say, where is my toothbrush? Have you kept it in the right place? Things like that, where is my footwear? These are what normally any human beings will do. It is something like that. But with Swami, it is not like that. Now, after the medical trust was formed, there was only 3 trustees in the medical trust. We had Indubhai, then Mr. V. Srinivasan, and Swami. No one else was there. And so, in the year 1999 or so, Bhagawan said one day, called me 2-3 days regularly, he called me for interview in Vrindavan. And then one day he said, I want you to be a trustee in the central trust. So I said, Swami, I'm not a doctor. Sorry, not central trust, medical trust. I said, Swami, I'm not a doctor and I don't know anything about medicine. So he said, no, it's okay. I will do everything, you don't do anything. So when Swami said that, I said, okay, and just kept quiet. And true to his word, for the next 6 to 7 years, I didn't have anything to do except just being given a badge of a trustee. Of course, there's no badge also, but just the name badge that I was a trustee of so-and-so. That's all that was there. And there were hardly any consultations, no meetings, nothing whatsoever. So one day, I was coming to, and Swami had said, I am going to do everything, you don't do it. You don't have to do anything. So one day I was coming to Puttaparthi, and I got a call from Mr. Apparao, who was then looking after accounts and HR and all in the hospital, to say, we have some small problem, so, I need some help, guidance. So I said, no, I'm coming to Puttaparthi today, I will drop into the hospital in the morning before I go for darshan. It's on the way, and then I'll go. I said, okay. So they waited for me, I went there, it was something very simple, few minutes the discussion took place. Then I left, went for darshan, sat in darshan. Swami came for darshan, looked at me and said, are you all right? Your health is okay? So I said, yes, Swami, my health is okay. No, you had gone to hospital, he said. So immediately I recalled, the Swami has said, you don't have to do anything, but you went to the hospital and something happened there. So then he said, Chudu Bangaru, you are a trustee, right? If somebody in the hospital wants anything from you, they will fix your time, come to meet you wherever you are and take your guidance. This is what you should remember. There is no need for you to go to somebody's place, because Swami considered, his trustees to be of a certain level where they are not expected to do these things. There are people to do these things, and it is their job and their duty to do it. So they are doing it. So there is no difficulty with that. It's not demeaning somebody, but that's the etiquette that was followed. Now, Swami was so human that, it is impossible to think of how human he could be. I remember one episode. which involves my wife. One day Swami invited me in the darshan. He said, you come for lunch with me. So those days he was having lunch in Purna Chandra. After some time he was having lunch in the mandir itself, in the dining room there, but that day it was in Purna Chandra. So I followed Swami and went there. Swami came, sat down. I also sat next to him. Then he looked at me, said, Ekkada? Means where? So I didn't realize. Ekkada bharya? I said, where is your wife? So I looked blank, and then, oh, you didn't invite her, ah? Okay, where is she? And she's in the guest house, Swami, Shanti Bhavan. So I said, okay, hey, Satyajit, take the car, bring her and come. So food is being served, he's sitting here. So Satyajit ran to Shanti Bhavan and went to the room, knocked on the door and told her, Madam, Swami is calling. She said, where? No, he's in dining room, he wants you to join for lunch. So she had, by then changed from sari to salwar kameez, and she was in the room. Then Satyajit said, no, Swami is actually sitting at the dining table, food is being served, come quickly. So aisa hi jo bhi pehna tha leke she came. The minute she came, Swami gave a nice smile and all that, and she was very embarrassed, to be in not formal wear in front of him. She had never been like that. So she didn't know where to look, so Swami understood the look on her face. He gave her a nice smile. He said, this is your house, isn't it? If this is your house, you have to be like how you are in your house. Nothing wrong. So you come and sit down. This is your house. So how you are in your house, you please sit here. So he sat down. And then, of course, had gave whatever, blessing he had to give. But the thing is, even in his, the way in which food was served, the way in which people were treated, the way the people who were serving were treated, the way that they were trained to do what they were supposed to do. It's all, amazing. One more episode about this, Swami being aware of everything is again involving my wife. I should mention that. She's a very fervent devotee, far more fervent than me. When she believes in something, she believes it, very deeply. Her old connect with Shirdi Baba has stand her in good stead. Long before I came into contact with Shirdi Baba, her family were in contact. So whatever that may be. So we went to Puttaparthi on Vaikunta Ekadashi day. It's a very important day, and that day it is supposed to be the day when the Vaikunta Dwara is open. Anybody who walks through that door on that day is going to be taken along with God to Vaikunta or heaven. That's the belief, whatever it is. So she was waiting in the usual place, saying, Swami will come, he'll give me vibhuti and I'll be blessed today. Swami came for darshan, looked at her and didn't do anything and came straight into veranda, and nothing happened. And she was very disappointed, saying that, I didn't get vibhuti, what to do? She was pitying herself. Then after a few minutes, suddenly somebody came and tapped on my shoulder and said, Sir, have you got a car? I said, yes, my car is there. I said, why? No, your wife is taken ill. She seems to be having some chest pain. So we are taking her to the hospital. So can you bring your car? So I said, yes, of course I can bring my car. So Dr. Safaya, who is the director of the hospital, was immediately behind me. He heard this conversation and he told me, Naganand ji, aap fikar mat karo, meri gaadi idhar hi hai. मैं उनको लेकर जाऊंगा, आप भगवान को बता के आइए, ऐसा नहीं आइए. So I said, okay, I sat down. Dr. Safaya went out. They took her in his car and went to the hospital. I sat down. Swami was in interview. After some time, the door opened. And he looked at me, my anxiety on the face, and he called me like this. So I went inside. Said, hey, no, what happened? So I told him this is what happened, Swami. Immediately, he materialized vibhuti. And his traditional style took out on a piece of paper, put the vibhuti inside, packed it nicely, gave it to me and said, go to the hospital, put it in water and give it to her. So I immediately ran, I went there. By the time I went there, they had finished whatever checkup and all, she was seated. First question everybody asked, what did Swami say? So I said, no, he only gave vibhuti and said, put it in water, so pani le aao, pani dala, fir pee liya. Then I said, what happened, what's her condition? They said, no, nothing, no problem, no heart problem. I said, what? All this commotion was there. No, nothing is some other issue, nothing to do with heart. We have checked everything. You can go now. I said, what? I can take her back. I said, yeah, go back for darshan. So when I gave this vibhuti to her, she made a comment. See, this naughty Swami, to give me vibhuti, he did so much drama. She said. Then I said, don't say all this. And we got into the car, came back. I came back to veranda, sat in my usual place. She went and sat in her usual place by the gate. After some time, after this bhajan was getting over, Swami came out. He's standing next to me. Then he nods like this. I said, Swami, she's okay. Then he's looking at somebody else standing next to me. Vibhuti, Vibhuti, ayo papa, Vibhuti. He's muttering like this. So everybody was wondering, what is this Swami saying, ayo papa, Vibhuti, Vibhuti? See, she uttered the words which she uttered in the hospital. That means he is always aware of what you are doing, what she was saying in the hospital. Saying that for Vibhuti he did all this. So she is saying the same thing. And he didn't meet her till then. Because she was sitting at the gate. And then she was exiting. I was sitting inside the veranda. I didn't convey anything to him. So this idea about Swami being there all the time, everywhere, is something which we cannot, forget. It happens all the time. Now, shall I go to the slides and then come back to my stories? Can we just move? This is our family temple, which is close to Bangalore. It was very dear to Swami. I used to always tell him about the temple, and he used to, bless all the events that took place there. You can go to the next, please. That's our family. All my 3 daughters, then sons-in-law, and the 4 grandchildren are there. I gave this as a precursor to the other photos which you will see now. This, in the course of Swami's connection, he sent me to so many places, and I can tell you that in every place it was a different experience. Now, Swami's devotees are there in every part of the world. Now, this is a visit I made to South Africa. And the love and affection with which, they treated us there, and how many programs we attended there. They wanted us to go and attend at least 2 or 3 of the centers. So that is South Africa. And the next one, I think, is Tokyo. Brother Hira, who's one of our trustees. I went to Tokyo twice. First time was for the 25th year of the setting up of the Sai organization in Japan. That is a big trip which he had made with several trustees, including Mr. V. Srinivasan and others who had gone there. And they had organized a fantastic retreat for us. It was very good. And this is the second visit that I made. And this is the beautiful shrine which is there in Brother Hira's house. The next one, I think, is London. This was last year. And every year, whenever we used to go to London in summer, there's always a camp, a retreat of devotees all over London. They join. And this is one of them. And the next one, please. This is, just see, this is a photograph that I clicked, which is, I think, somewhat very unique. I was seated in a veranda, and this is the Priya sisters singing, and we had a big image of Swami behind. And so this is how it looks, the Ladies' Day on 2024. Now, when I talk of Ladies' Day, I'll give you one episode and continue. Every year, my wife used to take the responsibility of organizing Ladies' Day in Prashanti Nilayam for many years. And she would take the responsibility of the decoration, the flowers, the rangoli. And Swami was then in Yajur Mandir, so outside his house they had to put rangoli. And those 5-6 days of the birthday time is jam-packed. Everybody is there and all things happening there. So one of the days, in the middle, like after the evening program is over, after Swami retires, then only you can go to Yajur Mandir and do all the decoration outside. So it was late in the evening, and she and my daughters and all of them were outside Yajur Mandir doing all the decoration, flower decorations, everything. Suddenly my daughter tells her, "Ma, I'm very hungry. How I wish I could have some pasta." So she said, 9:30, 10 o'clock in the night in Prashanti Nilayam, pasta? I mean, what's gone wrong with you? You're not going to get anything like that, because the canteens would have closed at 8 o'clock. So she says, "No question, now come on, let's finish and get going." In few minutes, the main door opens, Satyajit or somebody comes out with a big, huge tray of all the goodies, mostly pasta. And they give it to her to say, then she says, how did you get this? I said, no, Swami sent it for you. And the prasadam was sent by Swami. So they received the pasta, and after the decoration was over, they took it to our Shanti Bhavan room and had the pasta. So thing is that Swami is hearing everything that is happening. I must now move to another continent, that is Russia. I think many of you might have heard this story. One day we decided to go to Russia. I mentioned to Bhagawan, it was a holiday trip. I mentioned to Bhagawan, I'm planning to go to Russia. He said, very happy, go, a lot of my devotees are there and all. He said, finally the day came and we had Swami's darshan. That evening we were leaving. So as my car was leaving the ashram, somebody stopped and said, sir, there's a parcel for you. I said, parcel? Who gave the parcel? No, Swami has sent. I said, no, it must be for somebody else. I am going out of India today. This parcel should not be for me. Please check properly. Then he said, no sir, definitely it is your name. They told me your name to put it in your car. I said, ठीक है, गाड़ी में रख दो. So गाड़ी में रख दिया. Then they had a level crossing. So we crossed the level crossing and I was very curious to know, Swami knows we are going. So what is he sending at this time? I want to see what is in it. So I stopped the car, opened the parcel. It's a big box of sweets, prasadam, what they distribute. So I said, my God, what am I going to do with this? This evening I am going, I have nowhere to take it, what to do with it? I didn't know. If I knew, I would have given it in ashram only. Anyway, we started driving, we reached home, and both of us were talking. What is this? So then I told her, I think, Swami wants us to take this with us to Russia. She said, don't be silly. What are we going to do with the 20 kgs of sweets in Russia? So we debated. I said, no, we'll take it. We'll give it to somebody. So I pulled out one more suitcase, put this 20 kg sweets, checked in one more bag and reached Moscow. The next day, there was a Sai family there. They knew we were coming, so they came to meet us. There was no meeting that day. Center meeting was not there. But they said, we have a small meeting on Thursday in one of our homes. You please come there. So we said, okay, what do we do? Chalo, sweets leke chalte hain. So all sweets and all that, we packed everything in 3-4 handbags and we went. And as soon as we went to their house, they opened the door. There's a beautiful altar there, and we went inside and we gave them the sweets, the bags. So they all looked at each other and started smiling. I said, this prasadam I brought, this is for you. Then they started smiling. So I said, why? What happened? Why are you smiling? She says, no, we were sure you would be bringing sweets for us. I said, what? How did you know I am going to bring sweets? I only didn't know this. She says, no. 1 week ago, we started praying to Bhagawan that we are doing a Narayan Seva in an orphanage. And there are about 250 kids there. And we want to do this Narayan Seva in that orphanage. And we started collecting from all our devotees something, whatever they can donate. And the only thing we didn't yet have is the sweets, prasadam. So when we prayed to Bhagawan, we were 100% sure that He is going to send it. That is the reason why you brought this and gave it to us. Today we have no doubt in our mind. Now what do you say for this? Does Swami hear? Does Swami hear our prayers or does He not hear our prayers? Only thing is that you must pray in the right manner at the right time out of right devotion. That is exactly what happens with Bhagavan. So let me go ahead now. This I told you about Ladies' Day. I'm sure all of you have seen this. Sathya Sai Jayanti of 2024. Now I must tell you one story about the Jayanti story. It has something to do with cars, so I have to share this with you. One day, Swami suddenly asked me, which car have you got? So I had just then bought a Skoda Octavia. So Swami said, you bring your car, I'm going for a ride. So I scrambled, brought the car inside Kulwant Hall. Swami was ready, he sat in the car, we went for a round. I went to Chaitanya Jyoti and all that, and then we came back. On the way back, we stopped. Sai Gita came to the road, that's our Swami's elephant, and she spent a few moments with Bhagavan, and then we came back. And car issue was over, Swami went back, I went and put the car. Afternoon, we went to Purnachandra. So in Purnachandra, many of Swami's cars were parked there. So that afternoon, Swami was there and I was also there. My wife was also there. Then he's looking at her and asking, your husband, he drives very fast, no? She says, yes, Swami, he drives car very fast. So you need another car. So he says, see, so many cars are here. You take any car you want. All of Swami's cars are there. So she is looking at him, I am looking at him. I said, I obviously can't tell Swami, okay, I'll select this car, Swami, please send it to my house. So I just kept quiet. Then he said, hey, bring all the keys, give everything to him, let him take any car he wants. So they brought the keys also. I didn't say anything, I just kept quiet. I said, no, Swami, I've got a car, I don't need another car. Sheepishly, I said that. Then he didn't say anything. Then the topic changed. It went off like this. But from that moment, any car that I wanted, I always got without any effort. I don't know how that happens, I was always thinking of buying a good car, Mercedes. It never happened. But after this car episode with Bhagawan, with no effort at all, no borrowing, nothing, one after another cars keep coming. Even today it is coming. What I am saying is Swami's blessing is such that he knows what is to be given to whom and when. And Swami often used to say this, people will keep on asking me, give me this, give me that, give me this, give me that, give me promotion, give me marriage, give me this. But nobody has come to ask me for what I have come to give them. I have come to give them permanent solution to this worldly life. And that is what they must ask for. So we go forward after this car episode. This is a beautiful picture of Swami in his blissful mood. And many times, in Yajur Mandir also, it was a very common thing for us to feel that, after Swami's darshan is over, he would go into Yajur Mandir and he would sit outside in the first room as you enter. The next room is just a central room. On the left side is a dining room. On the right side is a waiting room. So before going to the dining room, he would be seated here. And many times, he will be in his own reverie, And the protocol was that you don't speak to Swami unless he speaks to you or he looks at you and gives you a signal that you can say something. Otherwise, you have to take permission. Say, Swami, I have something to say. If he indicates yes, then you say. Otherwise, you just sit quietly and enjoy the bliss of darshan. So Swami used to be, in his own world. In many places he would be going, I'm sure Swami's mind will be going to different places. These are, invaluable, darshans that we had at his feet. Let me see the next one. I was talking to you about different countries. It's a beautiful center in Kathmandu. A few months ago I was there, and they have a fantastic school in Kathmandu. And they're doing so much of relief work. And Kathmandu, the devotees from Kathmandu come quite regularly to Puttaparthi. And they are a very, very motivated group of people, and it's wonderful to see them. I went to see one of their Narayan Seva camps, and the camp was so well organized. They have their own building, and it was the first floor. All the Narayanas came, and they were seated nicely, and they were given food. They sat there, they ate, and then only went. Yeah, let's see the next. Well, I talked about Swami's visit to our house. This is the photo. Probably you won't recognize me, but that's Swami entering a house. And behind you can see Sri Gangadhar Shetty Garu. He's a very, very old, long-standing devotee of Bhagawan. And those of us who've seen him in Vrindavan will remember they're a family of great devotees of Bhagawan. See the next one, please. This is Sai Ishwara Linga in Puttaparthi. I'm sure all of you have seen it. This is after the Tirudra Mahayagnam. That was what was consecrated there, and that's what is celebrated now. Next one, please. This is a different image. This is contemplation. What is Swami contemplating? Does he have to contemplate? Or do we have to contemplate? Now, contemplation means that we have to think. Now, one day while I was in darshan, Swami suddenly called me and in the interview room, and he said, "What are you doing?" So, very difficult question to answer. What are you doing? So, I didn't say anything. Then he said, "Daughter." Then I realized there was something, because my daughter had just then finished or about to finish a master's degree in US, and she was to come back. And his question meant, as a father, you have a duty to see the next step in her life. What have you done about it? That was his question. So immediately I caught the question. And then I said, Swami, I'm seeing no progress yet. So again, he didn't let it go. After some time, again he asked, what happened? So by then I had one answer. I gave him the reference of one family. Immediately he said, no, beda. Then I kept quiet. Then again this happened. Then after another week or 10 days, before he could ask, I submitted to Swami that, Swami, there is a boy I've looked at. He is such and such a person and his family is like this. I know the family, you know. Immediately he said, yes, go to see them. So the next day I came back, I went to see my Sambandhi. He was a former judge in the High Court. So I knew him as a lawyer also. So the minute he saw me, yes, Naganand, what brings you here? So I told him, no, my daughter is just coming back from America. I'm looking for an alliance. So I was thinking whether, your son is eligible. Would you consider? So immediately he said, what consider? There is nothing for me to consider. Your family, we know them for 3 generations. If they agree, I have nothing to say. Please go ahead. But I have not asked my son whether he is ready for marriage. He said. So 2 days later, my future son-in-law came to see me. He said, sir, I am deeply obliged that you thought of me as your probable son-in-law, and I have no problem. And but the only thing is, I have not had much interaction with your daughter. I don't even know her. I must have seen her in younger days, but where is she? I said, she's in America. So her graduation was around the corner, but he said, I don't have a US visa. So I said, then he said he's going to United Kingdom, London for something. So I said, I'll ask my daughter. I was then back in US. Said, ask her to come to London. We have friends there. You can meet and chat, see what happens. So then that's what happened. She flew to London and he came to London. And they met in our very dear friend's house for a day or so. And the next day they called to say, we are okay. I mean, you can make next step, progress can be made. And the thing is, see, contemplation in the sense, Swami says you must think of what you have to do. And for that he always used to, in his song, one verse is there. Yatna prayatnamu manava dharmamu jayapajayamu deivadinamu. Yatna prayatnamu manava dharmamu means your effort and your hard work is your duty. Manava dharma, it is your duty. You have to do it. Then whether you succeed or not, jaya apajaya, jaya apajayamu daivadinam. It is in the hands of God. You don't worry about that. You have to do this, please do it. If you don't do it, then you are not going to get anything. So therefore, you have to do your job. So at every stage in our life, he has been a kind of a brooding omnipresence. At no point of time was he away from us. And at every single juncture, this very girl who I've told you about marriage, she was insistent that she wants to go to US for undergraduate studies. So we are very worried, how to send her. And we don't have any such close relatives of course, except one in New York, but no one else in Washington. She got a seat in Washington, D.C. And all of us know D.C. is not such a safe city. So many things working in our head. So then when we mentioned to Bhagawan that this is what she's saying, so Bhagawan said, you call her, I'll talk to her. So called us all for an interview. Very sweetly he said, what are you going to do now? You have finished your PUC, you're going to go for graduation, no? She said, yes. What do you want to be? I want to be a lawyer. I said, okay, you do one thing, and this, you go and join LLB in Bangalore. And for post-graduation, I'm going to send you to US. So he diffused her desire to go to US for her undergraduate studies. She quietly said yes, but she had fought with her mother to say, no, I'm going on my own, this, that. Finally, in 2 minutes it was over. She did undergraduate studies. And Swami said, I'm going to send you. That is 5 years later. I didn't say anything to Bhagawan. She got a seat. And Swami saw to it that a family who were Swami devotees who were living in upstate New York, they moved to Washington, D.C. on the very week that she was to join college. They came, received us, took us everywhere around. In the postgraduate thing, you have to hire your own apartment there. Colleges don't have it. So we had to do all that, buy all the furniture and everything and put her in place. Now our mother had said, you keep Swami's photo and you have to light one diya the minute you go there. So she carried the photo, but she didn't carry her wick. The wick was there, but no oil. So what to do now? We have to go search for it. They open the refrigerator and they find butter in it. In America, when they clean out the house, they clean everything out. There's nothing like butter that is left there. So she put the butter there, lit the lamp there, and she continued to live in that house for 1 year, successfully completed, and came back. And the minute she came back, Swami started asking, even before she came back, about her wedding and what happens. Now, I'll tell you a little bit about what happened post-Mahasamadhi. Can we go and see the next one, please? This is again a part of the home visit only, Purna Kumbha. This is also home. This is where leading the way in our life. Swami is always with us, holding our hands. This is with all the ladies in our family. And that's a beautiful photograph at Kodaikanal. Just see how Swami is holding his hand. His hand is like this, my hand is below that. He's clutching it tightly. What does that indicate? In fact, this photograph, when Swami was in Kodaikanal, many times my wife and daughters would go and stay with him throughout. And there was a guest house next to that. So first time we went, there was only bachelor accommodation. Family accommodation was not there. Swami was so considerate that what he did was, for only 2 of us, he said, there is another company guest house. You stay in that guest house and you come here for all meals, darshan, everything. So we used to go there for bedtime and come back here from breakfast, 7 o'clock in the morning, everything, all programs here only. He managed all that. And on other visits, whenever I had court vacation, I would try to be there. But if I could not go, I had to take permission from Swami to say, Swami, I have to go back to work. He would say, okay. But every time he insisted, come and take a photograph. So this photograph is a fantastic memory to our lovely times in Kodaikanal. This is another nice photograph in our house when Swami came. The way he is looking at it. And I must tell you one more photograph, please. This is, all of you know what these are. That one is the Christmas tree. This is another interesting photo. If you all can please see, can you see there's a small patch on Swami's heart? Yes? Okay. Now, that patch is a reflection of my wife and me. There's a photograph hung on the exact opposite side of the wall. So when this photo was taken, there was an event. My youngest grandson's Namkaranam was going on. So this was held in that same hall. So this picture is here, and exactly on the other side, our picture is there. And we never realized, when this photo was clicked, we didn't know what that was. In this it is not clear, but in the copy I have, if you zoom it, you can see both of us in that picture. We are both there in that picture. So it is a clear-cut indication, without our even knowing it, that is the picture which appeared, showing that we are in his heart. And he is certainly in our heart. That's a fantastic picture, which is, unimaginable. Now I need to talk to you a little bit about sadhana. Time aita? Okay. I was mentioning to you all about what is sadhana. I'm just going to read some things for you and give you an explanation. I'm not going to read all of the Sanskrit version. I'm going to just read one verse. It's 5 verses. Now, Adi Shankaracharya wrote many compositions. One of them was about sadhana. It's called Sadhana Panchakam. It reads like this. I'll read only the first verse and then explain all of them. Vedo nityamadhiyatam tadudinam karma svanushthiyatam teneshasya vidhiyatam apachitihi kamye matestyajatam papaugha paripnuyatam bhavasukhe dosho sanundiyatam matve macha yavasyatam nijagruhantartrunam nirgayam. He is giving instructions one by one by one by one. In your road to sadhana, what should you do? I'll just read out some ideas. I don't have to explain them. As I read, it will work in your head and you'll understand what we are supposed to do if we have to go up the spiritual path. First is Vedo Nityam Adhiyatam. Read the Vedas. Swami has told us, we are doing it. Do your duty without awaiting the fruit. Karmanyeva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachanaha. No, that's what Bhagavad Gita says. So you do your duty, don't worry. And what did Swami say? Yatna prayatnavu manama dharmamu jayapajayamu daivadhinamu. So same thing. Okay. Then reduce your desire. Sealing on desire, the program which Swami has propounded, what does it mean? And in sealing on desire, there are so many illustrations as to how people can give up something and use what you got from giving up for somebody else. And all the Vedantic thought, the Upanishads, all of them universally say, and Swami has always been saying this in a number of his discourses, you will find that he says that you must give up desires. These sense objects and desires, they will take you somewhere where you will not get peace. You can never get happiness from sense organs. Now, if somebody gives you, you love rasgulla. Okay, somebody gives you rasgulla when you're very hungry. You'll bless him a lot. Wow, fantastic rasgulla. Then you'll say, no, please have one more. So, yeah, one more rasgulla. Okay, good. One more rasgulla. Then he says, why only two? Two is not a good number. Take a third one. So you take a third one. And then he says, 3 is also not an auspicious number. 4 is good. Take a fourth one. Then you start thinking, should I take it or no? Then he forces you. He said, no, you take it. Like Gujarati wedding, they put it in a mouth, no? Like that. He forces it. Then you eat the fourth one. After 8th one, what happens? You run away from there, no? So what happened is that this tongue, the sense organ which you were hoping to experience bliss from, after some stage, it is only going to give you something which is not happiness. It is sadness. When you lose it, you are sad. So, you control it yourself. Many people say you have to give up coffee, you have to give up tea. Just, impossible to give up coffee or tea. How can I give up smoking? It's you. If you decide you're going to give it up, you can do it. So, reduction of desire. Then, do things which will wash off your sins. You know, in our karma theory, there is a prarabdha karma, and prarabdha karma is the sinful acts which you have done. Your debit balances in your balance sheet is prarabdha karma. So many lives you have gone through, you have done so many things, you have hurt so many people, you have not done proper dana and dharma. That is all prarabdha karma. Now you are facing difficulty now because that is troubling you now. If that was not there, you would be comfortable, you would be peaceful, and you would enjoy your life as long as you are alive. So you have to work towards reducing the sin. Then seek yourself. Exactly what Swami is saying. God is within you. And Swami has said, I am God. You are also God. But you must realize that you are God. No? So you have to seek yourself. The Upanishads talk of Guhayam, Hrudaya Guha. It says there's a cave in your heart. And the ultimate Godhead is someone who is residing there. Then last one he says, escape from home. That means your home is your cocoon. Everything is there in it. You love everything in it. But you don't get so much attached to it. Say, you should be ready to leave it also when need time comes. Then, of course, next one, Satsangatve Nisangatvam Nisangatve Nirmohatvam. Bhagawan says, repeats that so many times from Bhaja Govinda, no? Everything starts with Satsanga. Satsangatve Nisangatvam. Ultimately, Jivan Muktihi. So you start everything with Satsang. So many people sitting here talking about God, talking about Bhakti. This is Satsang. Be with good people. And when you are with Satsang, you will get Bhakti. If you are sitting in a nice pub, having a glass of beer or whatever you want to have, you will not think of God. You will not think of Bhakti. Your mind is somewhere else. Your mind is tuned to yourself, your senses, whereas when you're in the company of good people and you're looking at nice things, you're hearing some beautiful bhajans, that is when devotion grows. When all this happens, the net result is shanti, peace. Now, if you don't have too many desires, you have a limited number of desires. I remember recently a very famous personality, Srimati Sudha Murthy, made a statement to say that in the last 30 years she has not bought a single sari. And most of you might have heard her name, she is the wife of Mr. Narayan Murthy. Their wealth is something like 10-20,000 crores. That is their wealth. And she says, I have not bought a single sari for 30 years. What does that mean? She says, I have enough saris. Why do you need to buy one more sari? I don't need another sari. So you've reached a stage of peace. That is the shanti. That means when you go to Fifth Avenue in New York, you don't have to go and do shopping there because there's nothing that you have to buy there because you already have whatever you want. Then Guru Bhakti. Now we talked about it. Without Guru you can't go anywhere. This beautiful Kabir Doha, no? What does that say? सात समुंद की मसी करूं, सब धरती कागज करूं, सब धरती कागज करूं, लेखनी सब बन राय, लेखनी सब बन राय, सात समुंद की मसी करूं, गुरु गुण लिखा न जाए. Means you convert the whole world, earth into paper, all the trees into pens, all the oceans into ink. You still will not be able to finish writing the Guru Gan. All the qualities of the Guru you can't. So Guru is very important. Who is your preceptor? That is important. And then Om. We start many meetings with Om. It is the Pranavakara, and the repetition of the word Om is something which you yourself will feel a kind of energy flowing through you if you do it on a regular basis. And Upanishad Shravana. Swami himself is talking about Upanishads. Just now we heard Mahanarayana Upanishad before our program began. So this is very important. Then more instructions. You have to manana. There is, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. It's a step-by-step process. Shravana is to hear. Manana is to think. You have to keep on thinking of what you have heard. So you have to do Manana on Brahman. And very important, don't waste your time on unnecessary logical arguments. People will come and say, does God exist? Have you seen God? I have not seen God. So where does He exist? He doesn't exist. So this charcha can go on. It's wasteful. So don't spend wasteful arguments. Then be important and learn you are not the body. You are the indweller. Deha and Dehi, two expressions are used. Deha means body. Dehi is the one who is living inside the body. So, that is another instruction. Try to be conscious of the Dehi. Then, you have to look after your body. You have to eat properly. If there is a disease, you must take medicine. You must live contentedly. And don't forget kindness. You have to be kind. Lastly, he comes to solitude. You have to practice silence of the mind and Sarvatma Bhava. Sarvatma Bhava is exactly what Swami is saying. That you believe in oneness of everything. There is no distinction between A and B. And lastly, love. You have to live in love. You have to live in Brahman. You have to be constantly aware of the divine principle that is enveloping us all the time. And I'll conclude by only saying that it is possible to learn so many things with great deal of effort. But when it comes to learning simple things, among the great teachers of the world, if you see Swami's lectures, his talks, his songs, they are the quintessence of all knowledge. I was very happy just today to see that the Radio Sai, our website, our Central Trust, has created an entire database of 1600 talks of Bhagawan in English. It's available at the click. You can just go to that and you can ask for any word. Like just today I checked it out. I wanted to know what Swami has said about Upanayana. And I checked it out. I got 20 references to Upanayana in Swami's 1600 discourses. So that means it's a fantastic fund of knowledge that is available. You got a doubt on something, just key in the word, and what Swami has said about it is right in front of you in your handset. So all this is available. Now it's for us to use. If we have to use it, we have to know that it is there. We have to spend time. I'll conclude by only making one appeal, that please make it a point to read all of Swami's Vahinis. Swami wrote several Vahinis in which he concised important philosophical truths in very simple language. You don't need even a dictionary to understand that. So simple the language is. And they are so deep in meaning. You don't have to read Upanishads. You don't have to read Bhagavad Gita. If you want to, you may. Like if it interests you, you have a little knowledge of Sanskrit and you want to improve your knowledge, you are most welcome to read it. But if you are not in that situation, don't bother. You read Gita Vahini, read all the Vahinis, and make it a point in your study circles to please read the Vahinis. They are an invaluable source of information, guidance, blessing, whatever you may call. And that is ultimately the intention of Bhagavan. In fact, I'll conclude by only saying, once there was a discussion about Swami's writings and said, somebody had said, Swami, you must copyright all these things. You must not allow others to use it. Swami looked at me and asked me, he's saying something, what do you say? I said, Swami, all your life you have been speaking for others to hear, learn and pass on to others. You used to say, copyright, nobody can use it. Even those few who are going to use it will not use it. Therefore, my submission is, please don't copyright it. You say this is free for everybody, but if somebody wants to take an extract, they must give credit to say this is an extract from Swami's discourse on such and such a day. That you can insist, but don't put copyright and say nobody can copy it. And Swami readily agreed and said, yes, that's how it should be. And that's how now this digest has come. I think it's a fantastic resource for the organization. I urge you to all to use it. With these words, thank you very much and giving me the opportunity. Jai Sai Ram.